Okay, so let me just brief you what this batch is about or what this session is about. So today we would be discussing from the Python network automation perspective. So this is a demo batch. I'm starting a full-fledged batch of around 2 to 3 months, which should be weekend batch. So every batch, when I start, I have one free session, free workshop with the audience, so that I mean we are on the same track to understand what the batch would look like and what would be the curriculum that we follow, what are the modules that we would be covering up in this batch, and what would be the structure that we would follow for this, and what you learn, what you get out of this batch after 2 to 3 month completion, how we lab it, how we share the notes or the reading material. So this is kind of a workshop or a demo session where we discuss all these things, and at the end, after my presentation, I'll also hand it over to my uh, backend person. So he would be counseling from the fee structure as well as from the management structure. So if you have any doubt, you can park it for that. If in case you want to still understand uh, what time is this, what duration this is going to be, what about the lab. So those are all management things which my backend counselor would be taking up. So I'll be first covering up from the technical side. I will explain you the complete flow here. So before I get started, I would like to understand what's your background or what's your knowledge on this topic. Are you from the automation background? Have you done any automation task in your current organization? Are you um, are you having exposure to any programming language, Python, Golang, or Terraform, or Ansible, REST API? I mean, what's your background? So I understand from where I need to start and what's the level of the audience. So it will help me to better plan the batch as well.
Actually, Milind this side. I'm from core LAN and WAN technology, routing switching domain. I don't have any knowledge on Python, Ansible, and other stuff like REST API and all. So from the basic, I want to learn that.
Yeah, hi, Milind. Okay, I understood your requirement. Okay, who is going next?
Same from my side. I'm also from networking field only, and I'm planning to implement this automation part in my network also, like to take out the reports, and if I can automate the troubleshooting things, or if I can automate the provisionings of like MPLS, like that type of things.
Okay, yeah, sure. How about others?
Hello, I am Hemant here. I am
Yeah, hi.
having a routing and switching experience. I have some exposure to Python, but I want to learn the thing Ansible and what is Devnet thing means APIs and how the Python can be work for the automation. Means my target is to I am having a rich experience about routing and switching, but I want to learn how automation can be work with the things in this field.
Okay. Yeah, who is
Uh,
going next?
Hey Sagar, this is Naveen. I have experience on routing, switching, and firewalls. I do not have any knowledge on network automation or Python. I
Okay.
would like to learn from the beginning, from the
Okay.
basic.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I believe most of you guys are expert in routing switching at least, and and very on an early stage here in the automation side. So I would be discussing more about the automation side today, considering that you have bit fair knowledge on the routing switching. Though that is not something mandatory to also be aware of, but having a knowledge on networking definitely will help you to build your script or to build the test cases. Otherwise, these days, even a college passed out who has a programming language can directly get into the network automation, because he or she only writes the code and get the requirement from the networking team. But having both the knowledge is also helpful in upskillment or job switch, career growth. So that's why a lot of the network engineers are learning this automation skill, so that it will help them in various aspect. Okay, so we will first go through the challenges. Okay, like the challenges that we face in the traditional, and based on that, I will be discussing about the roadmap, like how the automation can be your friend. So let's say, let me give you one challenge, and then might be the rest you guys can point, and I would be writing down. So let's say if I have to create a very simple L3 network, which comprises of VLAN creation, L3 gateway creation, right? So VLAN creation in all the L2 switches. So let's say thousands of switches I have to create. L3 gateway on the L3 router, and other configuration might be ACL policies on the firewalls, or or any other PBR conditions, or whatsoever. So let's say this is the task on an existing day-to-day operation. Now you cannot do this in a window of 3 to 4 hours or 5 hours, because there are too many things, plus there is a human intervention, so there can be human errors possible. There's a lot of manual aspect involved. Log into each box, copy those config, paste it, right? So if I go with the automation solution, that means if I have my Python script ready. Okay, if I just prepare my Python script, I say that these are the number of device falling under L2. I have another inventory for my L3. I have another device inventory for only the firewalls, and I inform my script what to do with this device. So for all L2 switches, I might go with only VLAN creation. For L3, I might go with the gateway creation. For all ACLs, might be I go with the firewall creation. So I prepare this, and during the automation, I mean during the maintenance window change window process, I execute the script. So within, let's say, 15 to 30 minutes, my whole requirement is done, completed, taken the pre and post check, and I'm good to close the ticket. Let's say maximum 30 minutes. Is there any problem related to human error? I don't think so, because we have all done it via what? Via the given requirement. I'm not doing it manually. I'm not logging to any device manually, right? So I just run this Python script over on these L2 switches, L3 router, and firewalls, and I do it, finish it in 30 minutes. I have all my pre and post check with me. I upload it to the ticket service now, whatever ticket that you use, and I'm good to finish this in 30 minutes. So what are the benefit? No human errors. I'm able to close within 30 minutes. That means it's faster. So I can spend my next 2 to 3 hours on a different task that is assigned to me, right? And from customer point of view, there is very least chances or possibility uh, of the CR getting partially implemented or not implemented. Because usually what happens if if there are a lot of device, due to time concern, you have to close for that day stating that it's a partially implemented, and might be on next change or next weekend you have to keep it for the rest of the device. So this is one traditional issue which with the help of programming we are automating, right? And this is what we learn in the class, how to prepare the Python script that can do VLAN fetch, that can push to the devices, and how can we do the ACL push. And we will learn in the classes if there are three different network components included, then how we decide. So during that scenario, we will talk about Python's condition. If this is given to you, then do this configuration. If this comes to you, then do this configuration. Else, then you do this condition. So Python is not only just writing the script, you should know the theory behind it. So you have for loop, you have conditions, you have uh, loops. Okay, so you have while loops, you have the data types. So first, we will be going through the theory. So once we start our actual class, we will go with the theory first. So for that, I'll show our official outline. So you will understand the flow of the batch. So this is the link. I'll also share it in the chat window. You can also go through it along with me. So I was talking about some condition loop, uh, while loop, etc. So that comes under the theory section, and there are around eight modules in and around. So this will include all your doubt solving or doubt related to the theory first. We will do basic exercises while we touch base the theoretical topic, because you may not be still aware how the network automation happens. You are only learning Python concept now. So from the Python concept, whatever exercise, generic exercise that you need, I will be covering that. Then comes the Python libraries, which is where the actual production script that we are building. So we will start with module 9, which is our first practical hands-on to the network devices. So we'll start with Netmiko as a use case. Then we go to Napalm, pyNTC, Paramiko, Scapy, subprocess, and Nornir. So these are some libraries which are responsible for SSH based communication. Plus, they will have all the needful modules within them to fetch the output, to configure a new block, to read from the CSV and push it to the device, to take the backup and store it in the local machine. So that all will be done as an add-on on top of Netmiko library. So the main library that we are discussing is to get us the SSH connectivity. Okay, let us not go very deep, because as you all are from the very beginner level, so I'm just showing you the roadmap that how the batch would be followed. Once we done with the Python, then we go to the Ansible modules, where we would be learning from the Ansible in and around. Then we go to the REST API. Then we cover the Cisco Devnet. I'll talk about what is this Cisco Devnet. And overall, as you know, this is around 2 to 3 month of project. And after every module completion, I would be giving you one project related to that, a compiled project related to a module. So you will work on it, you will upload it, and I will validate to see if you have done it better, or there could be anything which could have saved few additional lines. So it's going to be both learning plus hands-on for you guys. So those people who start from day one till the last day, you might yourself find in a place where you are able to write your script yourself. So that is what this batch is uh, consisting of. So from the learning phase on the day one, on the end of the day, you are completing with the project where you have already contributed from your side on writing part, execution part. In some batches, the some participant even have taken this to production till the end of the batch has arrived. They already started doing it in the production where they are fetching or configuring something. So they do discuss that in the class as well of at the last 15-20 minutes, if they have any ask or any concerns, or they want to show the script. So this is more like production oriented, and as well as more towards the networking side. You might find a lot of automation courses but irrelevant to you. Might be that is server side or DB side or very generic. This is not a generic program, this is for network engineers only. So if you are working as a network engineer in a routing, switching, security, data center, collab, whatever the stream is, this is appropriate for you guys, because here is where we are talking from the network devices. So network device could be of any hardware platform, ISR, Cat iOS, iOS XE, Nexus, and we are not only going to target the Cisco devices, because you might be from the Palo Alto, right? So how would this course be beneficial for you? So that's why what I have done in the lab is I have kept multi vendors. Okay, so let me just show you our lab that you get part of this course. So this is the lab that you would be getting it. You can see that there's a Palo Alto. So definitely I'll be showing some automation on Palo Alto. We have CSR 1K, that is from iOS XE perspective. Now, if you know what is XE, it's one of the family from the iOS or from the Cisco. So there are majorly three things: iOS, iOS XE, and XR. Okay. And definitely, yes, Nexus for Nexus, and you have FX for for the FTDs, and lot of other models as well. But these are few important ones. At least the XE is important one, because all the API things we would be talking from XE level, and all the SSH based automation we would be talking from iOS level. So that's why I've kept both in the lab. So this is XE, this is Palo. This comes for the ASA firewall consideration. This is FortiGate. Okay, this is a Arista box, Arista switch it is. There is a Juniper platform also. If in case you are from Juniper, you can spin up this node, and whatever we are discussing, you can write it up for Juniper and also check the outcomes. And this is for the Catalyst iOS Cisco devices, and these are some more Catalyst devices itself, to do the use cases where we have multiple devices, to see how much time it takes to execute over on these 8 to 10 devices, how you fetch it. So all the things, almost everything will be discussed in the lab. And later stage, when I go with the devnet portion, there are some need of labs like SD-WAN and ACI, DNAC, right? So for this topic, I will be covering up it in the sandbox, Cisco DevNet sandbox. Though we have SD-WAN and ACI, DNAC in the different individual programs. So if you are part of our CCNP to CCI enterprise, you will receive this lab. If you're part of our ACI dedicated program, you will get the lab for ACI. And if you're part of our, again, CCNP to CCI or a standalone DNAC program, you will get part of it. So at that time as well, there would be some automation shown from individual batch perspective, or if you're looking for the lab, you can also additionally go with the individual lab. As per the automation batch, we would be giving you this lab topology, which will have almost all the different platforms, different aspects can be seen. The use case can be seen. What are the use case that you can go back and check over in this link? So this is where I have also mentioned the different use case, like what would be the requirement and what type of script that you would be building, what would be the ask or the outcomes of that script. So you can go through this. I've given the link in the chat box as well. The lab is this particular thing. Let me also tell you, as a part of uh, this batch, you get it for 6 month accessibility. This is called remote lab. It's very simple. You will receive a link, basically. One second, let me try some others. So you will receive a link basically, and with the credential. So you need to log in to this, and that's how you get into the lab UNL. I'll be explaining you how do you spin, how do you do the management config, etc. Might be on the next class one, the log session. I'll be going through, and also in today's class I'll be spending some time to show you the management configuration and all those things, because on the day one this will be all empty, a blank configuration, nothing much in the box. So you have to do your configuration. I'll be explaining that what all things are needed. Okay, so let us come back. We were talking about one of the traditional issue, and then we discussed about the writing of a script and getting it done. So what are the other challenges that you see on the traditional side? Now this is something coming from you guys. I'll give you an example from my end. Now you guys tell me what are the traditional things that you might be performing in your case and that you would prefer to be automated.
Repeated configuration.
Sorry, I think you're a bit.
Repeated configuration.
Yeah, so yeah, that is one of the thing. So let's say repeated. So what happens in the repeated configuration?
If we have to go with multiple device and same configuration, we have to push. Then we have to go with the automation. Then it will be push faster than the
Okay,
yes.
okay. So what is the automation level is? So let's say your ask is to fetch or configure a simple command like logging host 1.1.1 on let's say all your thousands of devices. Correct. So what you can do is you can build a script, Python script or Ansible script or API, and then push it all along at once and complete it in 10 to 15 minutes maximum. Because your script is going to do the SSH. Your script does know where this what are these IPs, and your script also knows what is the configurational line. So it will go to the configuration T mode and do the job and give you the result or outcomes in, let's say, 15 minutes to whatever the elapsed time it's taking. So that's the way the automations are done. Okay, what are the other use cases?
Yeah. Sagar, are you writing something? Because
Yes.
I can see only your name here, Sagar at NG only.
That means it's not you are not seeing the refresh screen. So I think you can once disconnect and reconnect. How about others?
Yeah,
Are you able to?
We can
it's
see that.
visible.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Yeah, I
are
can
able
see.
to you.
Okay, yeah. So you can once disconnect and come back. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was asking for the third use case. Do you guys
Yeah,
have any?
code
Yeah, so I
upgrades.
yeah, I have one use case. So actually, we are running a SD-WAN network of around 500 sites. Okay, so we often need the data, how much bandwidth is running on which site. So we need to prepare a Excel and want to fetch the data from the from the SD-WAN network itself. So is it doable? Can we do such thing with one or two devices in our lab?
Yes. So in the case of SD-WAN, let's say SD-WAN or ACI or DNAC, this is the regular ask. Even though you have a front end, but doesn't mean you will go to multiple tabs to see the bandwidth utilization or resource utilization. So you need some way to fetch the report. Could be anything, Excel, PDF, XML, which you might have to present or you have to go through it. So for this kind of ask, what is the automation that we normally do is these are all HTTP based dashboard. That means you go to the browser, you type HTTPS, and you put the vmanage and you log into that device. So it's a HTTP based dashboard. Automation concept. So one simple option would be that if you know about this tool called Postman tool, and if you write a appropriate API call to fetch that report of inventory list or the image repository or the inventories, you can fetch and you can get the output either in the JSON format or in the CSV format, right? So this is the automation that we do for this kind of controllers. And this also includes other dashboards, like if in case you're making use of Palo Alto or FortiGate, okay, or let's say the Cisco's Firepower. So all these are HTTP dashboard, and for that REST API is the simplest option to fetch. You can also convert the REST API into Python script. There's a library called request library. Using this request library, you can fetch the entire list of the inventory or the utilization and all other things. Okay, so that is where the SDN solutions or the dashboards come into picture.
So it will be covered also?
Yeah, that we have that also in the syllabus.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, what is the next traditional method that you've been exploring or have seen?
We can upgrade the version of devices.
Yeah, so that's called, let's say, iOS upgrade or let's say any software upgrade. Okay, so usually in the software upgrade, what happens is we go with certain steps. So starting with, let's say, copying of that file or the image file to the disk of the network device, right? So this is step number one. Let's say SCP file transfer. Second thing we normally then do is, let's say, change the boot variable. So you will do the boot variable, and let's say you will check the MD5 checks if the image. I mean MD5 you can do it in the first step as well over here. Verify the MD5, and then you do the boot variable. You save it. You do the reload. So before that, you will also take the pre-report. You will do the post-report after the reload has happened. You will compare and see from the diff report if there was anything, any feature unlocked which is vulnerable to your standard, or anything got messed up, or anything got deleted up. So there are certain steps that we do in the case of iOS upgrade. So iOS upgrade doesn't mean just bringing up to the newer version. You also have to take care of rest of the aspect. Now the entire thing we can do it with the automation. So if I prepare a script which has the functionality to copy the file, it will do the copy automatically. You just need to download the image from the software center and keep it locally, and from this local path it will take it and it will put it to the device. It will do the configuration step, because as I told you, the program has a functionality to get into the conft and change the boot variable, save it. It will take the pre-listed checks, all that 10, 15, 20 commands that you want to be fetched, you it will take it up. and it will go on the reload process, and while it comes up, it will once again take the post collection, and using the diff libraries, it will also generate some HTML files to show you the difference what has happened before and after. And in that you can see if there was anything got added up or got messed up. And the automation takes, definitely the reload is same if you do it manually or via the automation, but you will cut down lot of steps here. You don't have to manually log in, you don't have to manually change the boot variable, you don't have to deal with taking of backup, because everything is happening automatically now. So let's assume that if one device takes 2 hours for you, now you can cut down that with automation to, let's say, 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. And moreover, if you're doing it manually, this 2 hour is for one device at a time. But if your automation is doing it, you can do multi devices or parallel connections as well. So who knows, you are doing this 5 devices at a time, and your 5 jobs are happening at a time, because it's a automation, right? We don't need 5 humans to be interacting with 5 devices. So this is like 5 devices happening at single point of time. So the elapsed time is also improving. Elapsed time in the sense the total time required for 100 upgrade. Where you need, let's say, 2 days for that. With the automation, you can do it in, let's say, 4 hours. So that is what you achieve here. You will achieve human error environment. You will achieve a faster upgrades on multiple devices. Second, third thing is that you're you're cutting down your human resources here. Might be if you need 10, 20 people for the same task, you might be cutting down to, let's say, 3 to 4 or 5 people now with the skilled engineers. Okay. What else?
Yeah, yes, Sagar, one more use case I have seen that when we do any change, like any change, let's say we are replacing MPLS link or removing that or doing some DIA link upgrade or something, right? So we need to take the pre and post checks, and we
Mhm.
need to compare it also. And we have sometimes we have a less technical team who is actually doing the change based on the document designers provide. Okay.
Mhm.
So is it doable in our lab that we can take the pre and post and then compare also that what's the difference?
Yeah, I will show you one live example. This is a thing which I did in our last batch. So this kind of files get generated when you have the Python script to do the pre and post, which are HTML file. And this is how the reports will get generated. So whoever is the executor, he will do the check and report it accordingly. So in this case, we pushed is we test the pre-check for the loopback 101, which was not configured. In the same script later, we configured the loopback, and in the post, we can see that it has come up. Same thing for the OSPF. It wasn't configured. We configured it, and we see that in the green. So green means something was added during the addition. Anything if you see in red means that was removed or not present. And yellow indicator means something got changed, like could be counters or some certain thing like. So this is done from the script itself. So this is for one device. This is for the second device. So you come to know like what has happened. That is what I was trying to share the use case for the previous scenario, the iOS upgrade, that you also generate the diff check pre and post comparison. Normally, what happens otherwise, the engineers will use Notepad plus plus. But to what level? I mean, do you think for thousands of devices or hundred of devices you will use Notepad plus plus, keep one on left, one on right, do that option called compare? That's very traditional. You can generate the report yourself automatically.
Okay.
Okay.
So can we do this in our lab setup here
Yes, yes, this is done in the
for
class
Ansible?
itself, I'm telling.
Okay, okay.
So whatever you see in my automation instance right now, This is run in the class itself. Okay.
Sagar, Karthik here. We cover ZTP also, zero touch provisioning also.
For that, we don't have license for ZTP. I can give only the pointer using the API, but to have end-to-end fetch or something, there should be need of ZTP account, etc. Right?
Got it.
So yeah, we can do only from the concept for things which needs the license, like PNP, ZTP. So these are something which needs smart accounts, and we don't have smart accounts. Okay.
Can you tell more
Okay.
about like what exactly in which sense you are talking about ZTP?
There could be for DNAC or SD-WAN. These are the things where you have this process, right?
Okay.
And for example,
So
like a hardware failure and we are replacing a device. So automatically, once we connect the device, the script should automatically kick in and configure it.
That depends how you're basically setting it up. I mean, usually what happens is once the device is replaced, there will be the basic configuration done by the field engineer, and the remote access will be given to you. And from the remote point, you can push the config that you had taken as a backup on that
Got
particular
it.
device.
Got it.
In that case, we need to set the same name, username, and password to access the device over SSH, right? And the
Exactly. Yeah.
same model. Yes, we will. I will do that on more than 5,000 devices
Hmm.
to run the Python script to upgrade the version of SNMP version 2 to 3.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's
That is config
amazing
push.
tool. Yes, config push. Amazing tools, but you have to set the same username and password. And first, you need to get the inventory, and Python is do that. How many devices, which model, which platform in your network,
Hmm.
and they will provide.
Which
Yes.
library are you using?
I'm not remember that library because that
Okay.
time someone our colleague provide me the script. So I
Okay.
have no idea about the background. So I am more interesting to learn what is this exactly and how
Okay.
many features. So that's why that is the point to I am
Okay.
attracted. Yes.
So you
They
said it.
just provide, yeah. They just provide me a script. They set the configuration set,
Hmm.
and we just run. I just run on my CLI. That's it.
Okay. So you say that it's a common username and password that you're using. That means your own
Yes,
credential.
yes. Admin credential. But if you don't have a miss the credentials, that device will be failed. And I think that is prerequisite for the same platform or model or iOS.
There are different aspect now.
Yes,
I'll show.
because a little bit like configurations are vary on the different Cisco iOS devices. A little bit.
No, no, that is also one aspect that if the platforms are different, you might need to have a different script. If the credentials are different, you might need to have a different script. But there is another aspect where you can do everything, Palo, Cisco, FortiGate, different config, different credential, different device type, all from one script also. So by having concept of reading from CSV or Excel. So here, if you see, we have to prepare one Excel spreadsheet, and as per this spreadsheet, I can keep any device, any config belonging to that particular rows itself. So let's say this is one device, it belongs to Cisco, its credential is so and so. This is the configuration line, and this is the show command relevant to iOS CLI command. On the second thing, I don't need that it should be again a Cisco. Who knows? I might come up with Palo in the second case, and I keep a different credential for Palo. And the configs are also different for Palo, and even the show commands are different. We can still achieve that multi-vendor, different credentials, and all that with this aspect of automation. So in the class, I will show you how to read the Excel, convert it into variables, and using the loops, do the how we push this to the actual devices. So this is another aspect to solve your concern. when you wanted to be having multi devices or a different set of credential, different set of config. Let's say you have a Cisco device, but the configs are different for each one of it. So that is also doable. There is a different aspect of doing that using the Python automation. We'll discuss that in the class. So I'll show you how is that done. And
Even he,
hmm,
after the script is completed, he now generate a complete report, which device is successfully
hmm.
configured and which is not.
That also
That is
will, yes, that is
yes,
also done in our class. You will get to see this kind of output, which device got
yes,
configured, which device got timed out issue, which device got failed due to credentials. So a list where you will segregate which are successful, which are having errors. Okay. So that we will be also seeing in the class the use case from that perspective. Additionally, you might also get, let me put that one requirement. You might have heard about audit reports or generation of report type of requirement, right? So let's say someone asks you to give the report for the CDP neighbors. Okay, let's say you get a requirement to generate a report for all the CDP things, or you get a requirement to have the ARP table, or you get a requirement to get you all the current iOS versions that is running on the device. So how would you deal with this kind of requirement? So this is a ask where you are being asked to generate the report and send them. Usually in the traditional case, what happens is we go to device and then do run the command, then like double click copy. I mean, not that is not feasible in the case of thousands of devices, right? So how would you do this in that case? I know you will tell Python, but again, Python, you know that with the help of Python as well, you are basically uh, running show command. So if in case you are running show run host name, so it will still give you the entire native output like host name and let's say R01. But the ask is that they are asking you to only give the appropriate data alone and not with the prefix or suffix added to this. You know how the audit reports works, right? There will be a header and all the data in the next rows, like R01, 1.1.1. It's a Cisco type. Then the current version is, let's say, 17.9. Only the data they are expecting in the Excel file. They are not expecting the entire statement. The current iOS version is, I mean, that is not called a proper Excel or reporting. They are expecting only a data, nothing else. So how do you think you can do it? Have you have anyone done this kind of requirement?
Actually, one of my colleague already implemented this in our network.
Hmm.
So, for example, we are having around 40, 50 devices for some
Hmm.
specific project,
Hmm.
and we need to run around 10 commands. So,
Hmm.
before, like my colleagues were doing like around in 2 hours or 3 hours,
Hmm.
but after creating the script, he can do it like within 10 to 15 minutes only. And
Yeah.
that he implemented like in some MPLS project. So
Hmm.
they're like they are running some commands like for interface description, MPLS sessions, LDP sessions, like these type of things. So
Yeah,
he
that is a fetch requirement. I understood, but my
yeah.
ask right now is specific about how you generate that report. It is done via Python. That is a hint I'm giving you. But what is making the Python script to fetch only the data and put it? Because as I see, any Python script, if you run for any command like show IP int brief, it will still give you the entire output. I don't want, sometimes I don't want the entire output. I just need a specific output from that output I got it.
You are referring to parsing the needed information, right?
Yeah, parsing is conversion when you convert some string to certain JSON or something. But what is that the terminology that we call for when we fetch the appropriate data from the given data or given output? I mean, how we can generate, let's say I ask you to give me the current iOS version from all the thousands of devices. So how would I fetch that information? Only the version. I don't want the entire statement for me.
We can use something like pipe in input or grep, or we are talking
No,
about regular regex filters.
yes. So what I was expecting is regular expression because with the pipe include, you can't get the exact information. So I'll just show you what does that mean. So when you go to the device, even if you run the pipe include, see, let's say I want to get the version. So I will definitely go with show version and this consists of all the information and let's assume that for me the important thing was this data. How can I get only this data? Only and only this data in my Excel file, which consists of multiple columns and rows, so that the data, this particular data, go and fit in one of the cells. I don't need any other statement before or after coming over on the cell. I only need the data for this because I have to email this to my management, right? So that is the ask here. If I go with even pipe, if I go and say I want to fetch this, even then I will get the entire line only. I get the entire line, and I am not expecting this entire line to be copy pasted in Excel columns because that don't make sense. I only need this output,
Right. So
exact
we are
output.
good with the regex filters, right?
So anyone others are aware of this regex filter? What it means?
No.
Okay.
You can get
So
the iOS version from show inventory. Can we?
show inventory will also give you the entire output. How do you filter for that particular information? Let's say I only want serial ID. How will I get only that output? Is there any way? If I filter show inventory and go with pipe include, even then the minimum data that I will get is still a single line. But my ask is that I only need this one because I am preparing my audit report, which should read like this. I don't need the entire line or statement to be also copied in my CSV so that later I spend unwanted 4 hours to do the needful changes here. That is not the purpose of automation. When you do certain things, it should come it in a final way that you can email it the minute you get the report generated. This is what I am looking for audit report. This report is consisting of host name, IP address, uptime, serial ID, processor ID, the image path, and let's say reload reason. You can add any number of other columns to CDP neighbors, ARP references, descriptions, which interface is up, which interface is down, etc. etc. These are called audit report. When the requirement comes to you, where they are expecting you send them some smart sheet so that it's much more easier way in terms of reading it. Or if you are presenting it in your meeting, you can't go them and show this throughout thousands of devices. You need something like this, which is presentable. You can tell these are the devices which are currently running at 17.3, and now we are looking to upgrade to 17.12, right? So you need some presentable data with you in the meeting. So if you're attending a lot of customer calls, they will ask you for data. some report. Now everyone don't have SD access or DNAC as solution or SD WAN as a solution that you can generate it from the dashboard. What about people who are still using a non SDA or non SD WAN networking,
Yeah,
right?
Sagar, we get these report from the managed engine like SolarWind, PRTG, any kind of report you can fetch.
Sorry,
The
which one?
alternative SolarWind, PRTG monitoring tools.
These don't comes free. You know, solar, wind, PRTG are not free. They are they are costing you. So my question is, why a management will pay dollars to get some report when there is a solution like Python and Ansible or APIs with us? These are free solution, whereas this is a paid version. If you go with the free version, you can only load might be 10 devices, but no networking protection is only running with 10 devices. They will be running with 10,000 devices. So why I will spend so much of dollar to third party to get me the report? Correct. And also you know that DNAC are the solution, SD-WAN are the solution, but again they are license based. So if I want the Cisco technology, I have to be ready to pay them this much. Okay, so let us come to the conclusion. If that is the ask, then you can go with the regular expression concept along with your Python's library that you would be using, like Netmiko or whatever. With the help of regular expression, you can build your pattern. Okay, and also come up with another library for CSV. This will be your smart sheet. And the final outcome of this combination is that you get a nice report with the presentable data. You decide what headers you need, you decide what data you need, and it comes out something in this shape. So that is what I was trying to showcase you, that this is what I am looking for and how would be the script look like. Okay. So you will come with multiple library involvement now, one for SSH, one for regular expression, one for CSV, and that is how you generate a report here. So that was my one more case here. I said that if in case I want to go with the report generation. What else? Do we have any other use case? Why we need automation? Or you been dealing with the traditional things? Yeah, we can write a lot of things like if in case I want to create policies or security policy, right? So if I want to push secure, which is again comes under the configuration mode. So I have not mentioned it, but you can think from security policy, creating of NAT rules, creating of VPNs, right? These all things comes under the configuration part. So these are some of the use case. Along with this, let's say if you want to reboot several hundred devices, you want to do the backup restoration, you can do that. You want to deal with uh, report dashboard generation, like CPU utilization, RAM utilization, hard disk utilization. You can still generate the dashboard. You also should know the programs that we are talking right now, like Python, Ansible, these are all called as a backend programming. Okay. So if you are very expertise, you can create a front end using HTML. There's something called Flask. Okay. And different front end programming. You can integrate your backend with the front end so that you get a good, nice dashboard where the juniors will select the device, they will select the command that they want to push, and this will do the backup query with your Python script, and the outcome is that you have your output in a very easier way. So these are all the advanced things that comes in the batch. You might have seen few script in YouTube or something, and you might think this is one such another course. No, it is not. Here, this is customized to the production scenario. We will be covering lot of aspect that we see in the production. Okay, so fetching the output, configuring is very basic. You might find thousands of such YouTube, or might be every other demo from any other trainer would be showcasing that. But what we are going through this is more customized and more to the production. Okay. Now, since we have already spent 1 hour, what I will do is I'll quickly take you to the lab, and I have some example test cases. So these are my devices, okay? And this is where I will be preparing my script. So I'll just walk through via some examples. So let's say example one. So example one, I've kept it very, very simple. Just one device I've kept, though it's in the for loop. That means you can even add thousands or 100 devices, doesn't matter. But for now, I've kept one device. I have to check if I still have the IP.59 or I have to change it. And the purpose of the script is that I'm pushing some config from the text file. A very usual case study, and I'm also fetching the output of this CLI. So two tasks I'm basically performing. One is to push the config. Second is to fetch the show command. And that I'm taking it as a backup and storing it in this path. Okay, so three tasks. So first, let me find where is that config line. How does the config line look like? So this is the file. This is the config I want to push. One thing. Second thing is I'm taking the show output and I'm going to store it in the backup folder. So backup folder, I'll just try to keep it, empty. Or if you want, we can change that backup folder also. Let's say I want to keep it under backup new. Now this folder may not be present. So let me just quickly create that folder and keep it ready. So let's say I'll go and say, I want all my backups to come here. And my device. Now, device on our lab are DHCP based. They are not fixed IP. So there is chances the IP might have changed. So I'll just check my IP here. So this is 128. I'm going to backfill, or going to make the correction. I'm going to say now it's 128. These are configured. I mean, I've already configured the local username, because this is where I do take my class. So I've already done the needful thing. For your batch, I'm going to do it from scratch from the next session. How to set the management, how to set the local username, how do you bring the device up from very basic level of configuration. So that all things we will do it in the logged session. Today, since it's a very open session, too many topics that we discuss out of the syllabus too. So I have to keep this short and simple. I'm just telling you that I've already configured it. These are the credentials that I have maintained there. Now the script is ready. You have one device or you have thousands of device. Your script will still remain thus. What you have to just do is just add number of more devices. Like the next device will come here. Then the device list will come here. Again, this is a very basic script. If you want, you can even keep the device list outside. You can make your script to read the notepad, get the device. It can also read from Excel, get the things done here. You can also take out the credential, keep it somewhere. You can also make the credential to be prompted during the execution. All the scenario we will see in the class. As of now, I have done it just a basic static just to show how the things work. Okay, this is not to dis I mean, this is not to like why to and why not to. This is just a simple case that we are running to see how automation looks like, just the feel of the automation. And
Sagar,
then
can you please,
Hmm.
sorry to interrupt, can you please explain the syntax?
We will do that in the log session. As I told you, this is not the class where I will go in depth of these things. because you don't even know the Python theory first. So I already have shown you few things before I came to this level. We will go with the Python theory first, where you will understand the concept of Python. Then only we are going to discuss our Python library and the script here. So that comes under ninth module. We are right now discussing a script from somewhere ninth and 10th. So it
Got
will be not possible to cover all the first eight module in a session of 1 hour. It's always a 4 to 6 classes involved there. But in short, let me just say this is calling of the library. This is where you are defining the list of devices. This is where your for loop is starting. This is called Python dictionary, where you have put all your device credentials and the device type. This is a function called connect handler, which is initiating your SSH connectivity. Once the SSH connectivity is initiated, it will be labeled with transport channel SSH 123. Rest all the things will happen over on that transport channel 123 that you have used in the first step. And these are the modules which is responsible for configuration and show command respectively. Once again, you have another for loop. Now this is a case called nested for loop. And then with the help of with open, we are creating a file, because we are using something called A. A stands for appending. You can go with A, you can go with W, which means write, right? I might sound French or Chinese because you don't know the theory right now. So that's why I said we will, once we have the locked session, when we go with theoretical concept, lot of theory will be understandable when we start the actual scripting. Okay. For now, just I'm running the script. You have this option called right click and run. You get this output screen where you get to know what's happening with the script, whether the device was reachable or what is going through behind the scene. So you can see from the output. So let me just scroll through here. So you can see from the output, there was one device with the host name R1. You were able to configure certain things. Now the certain things comes because you have prepared this file, and as per that it is going to push one by one. So you said 2.2, then you said 3.3, then you said OSPF. So now it's configuring that. That was the first ask here. Second ask was that you run this show command and take that in the output folder under backup new. So let's see if there is any file got generated. Backup new. Yeah, there is a file that got generated, and this is where all your output is stored. Okay. Now this we did only for one device. As I told you, put comma and keep all your 100 device here. It will take 10-15 minutes, and you will have all your configuration and backup done just in 15 minutes. Okay. Just one case, one example. Similar way, I'll go to next example. Did you get what the example one was for? It was for config and fetch. Okay. The second example that I have is to read from the Excel. Okay. I'm going to read from the Excel, which is kept at this location. So let me see where is that Excel right now. This is the Excel. This is the Excel. As you know, my device IP is 128, if I'm not wrong. 128. So I'll just make the changes. 128. Rest of the device might fail. Okay, it might fail because I am not going to do change other things right now. But what will happen, or how my script is going to handle that? So for that, I have added certain features called exceptional features. If my device will fail due to timeout, or due to authentication, or due to SSH, I am writing some error handling concept. It's called error handling. Once again, it's a theoretical concept. We will understand what is try exceptional block. So this has been added in the script to deal with the error. You know how your Python script performs or behaves when you push, let's say, 100 device to it all at once. Your Python script will run one by one. So let's say first device successful, second device successful, third device successful. But what if your fourth device is having authentication issue or the IP given is unreachable? What will happen to your script at that point? Just a question. What will happen to your script at that point?
It's go to the next device. It's pop up
No,
like
It
it
fetch
will
the
it
error and go to the next error.
it will not go to
yes.
next device. It will not go to next device. Your script will stop immediately. That is how
Ah,
your script usual scripts are. They will stop immediately, and then you have to fix the issue, rerun, go again in the same process. Now let's say your 10th number device is having some issue, your script will still fail. Now that is not a good I mean a good way, right, to deal with this. That is where we are adding the error handling concept in the script, that my script will see any issue with the device. I don't want my script to stop, but I want my script to go to the next device. That is done by adding the error exceptional scenarios. This thing don't come by default. By default, my script will stop, but I have to add this additional line. I will only add if I know that, right? If I don't know, then how I will add it? How I will know what is the best practice, what is good, what is not good? As a normal network automation, I will just add my library. I will try to add it for 1,000 devices, and I will start struggling with my script because I'm not using the best practice. I'm not optimizing my script. So we have to optimize, or we have to also best write the best practices. So as per this best practice, whatever the reason is, my script will start differentiating. These device got failed due to authentication issue. These device got failed due to uh, timed out issue. And these are the number of devices which got successfully executed. So that comes when you add that feature. So in this case, I've added that feature. I'm reading from some Excel file. I'm having the all the red stored in the variables. Then I'm doing some more attempts here. Now this is called a calculated iteration. It's called Python's while loop iteration. So as per this, I have, like, if in case you're typing a wrong credential, even then, you get certain requirement or attempts, like you retry another attempt and etc. For that purpose, I've added that. And then the error handling concept. So altogether, when you just run this, it will look very simple. See, it is going through the Excel, it has got the information, now it will execute it. Then it will go to second device. If the second device is failing, even then it will go to the next device, because we have added that particular add-on feature in our existing script. So that is why I kept the example 2, for the sake of how to deal in such kind of situation. Now what you see, this is read from the CSV file. You just open this file. Your first device information is what you see here. So R01 Cisco iOS 128 admin and Cisco, and this is the configurational line. Okay. So once that is being read, then it is going to the actual SSH mode. If the device is successfully connected, then it will go to the next step. I hope you got the purpose of the second script. Okay, now let me see what I have as an example for third script. Okay, this is like in this I have tried to focus on one feature. Okay, now do you know any vendor, Cisco, Palo, whatsoever it is, They give you certain number of failed password attempts, right? What happens when you type a wrong credential on SSH or on the login credential? I mean, what happens? Again, a generic question. How do you feel? How do you find your platform behaving when you put a wrong credential?
Prakash authentication failed.
Yeah, but what happens? It will give you the next attempt, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
it gives 3 to 4
Yeah,
attempts.
exactly. 3 to 4 attempt, any vendor will give it. But do you know how Python automation behaves generic way? It don't give you any attempt. It is only giving you one attempt. You do it properly, you are get inside successfully. Otherwise, your script will stop if you don't have the previous feature added, or it will go to second device if you that previous feature was added. Okay, see, there are multiple things now. Don't be confused. The previous ask was when the device is failing out of any numbers, any attempt number, first attempt, third attempt, whatever, if the device is failing, how you deal it. Now you're talking from a single device perspective where you are having 3 to 4 wrong attempts provided, but in a default script, you don't get this 3 to 4, you get only one attempt. If you put it successfully, you are inside. Otherwise, your script will stop or it will go to the second device. Once again, you get an attempt. You do it right way, you are inside. Otherwise, you are failed and you will go to third device. So my question is, when the vendor itself is giving 3 to 4 attempt, so don't you think you should also incorporate that 3 to 4 attempt in all these devices? So that if first attempt is wrong, you still have to have few more attempts left, right? So that is again a add-on feature which we have added in the script. Now this is happening with the logic called Python's finite loop iteration with the help of while loop iteration. So I've put a condition where I can have 4 attempts possible. Okay, 4 attempts, because that's what the condition. Not four, sorry, five attempts possible, because I'm going with this and this. That means it can be equal, but not more than 5. So I'm starting with 1. This is definitely less than 5. Second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt, and this is also possible because of this equals to command. So it means that it can be lower or equal to 5, the condition that we have set here. Can I go with sixth attempt? No, because then this is failing. This means less than. My attempt numbers are always less than some condition. This is a condition basically in terms of programming, because my programming has to tell the device or tell the computer what the user has requested to do. So I'm starting with the first attempt. These are again all fictional data. You can go with some other number as well. You can put the condition another way. Okay, something like this. This is just a fictional data, just to get you the iteration. What you need 5 iteration. That is what uh, your purpose is, or you want to achieve 5 iterations, so that five failed attempts. That is what is the requirement here. We have put some condition and we go with this. So let's say if let me replace my IP here, 128. So let's say if I try to execute the script, it will give me the first attempt. So let's say my first attempt, I put a wrong credential. So what it will do, it will see that it's a wrong credential, and since I've made that feature added, now you see the same device, it is asking me for the second attempt. Let's say my second attempt is also wrong, but my script is still on the first device itself, because of this feature that I've added. Otherwise, by now the script would have been gone or got stopped, saying that your entered is a wrong credential. Okay, so that's the default feature, but we added the thing. See, now you see here, it was successful. My attempt was successful. I am inside the device. Login is successful. and you see it has now moved to the next device. This is my second device. So if someone asks you to prepare a script where you are providing them 3 to 4 failed attempts, then this is what you have to add in that script. Okay, by default, this is not the feature of Python. Normally, Python, what it will do, it will just give you one attempt. If you put right, you're good. If you put wrong, your script fails. And if you want to add the previous feature of exceptional scenario, then it will go to the next device. So one failed attempt, then it will go directly to second. But let's say your client is asking to have second attempt and third attempt also for the same device. So you have to add this feature. Okay, so that was
So,
example 3.
Sagar,
Yeah.
let's say we are running this script for multiple devices, and if first or second attempt fails, then it will ask us to put manually the credential manually, right?
It depends. I mean, in the previous example you saw, I have kept the password directly here on the things itself. So in that case, it will not ask me for any interactive prompt. If I'm keeping my password to be asked during the execution, then only it will be asking me.
Okay.
Okay. So there are different ways to handle. You can directly store the password so that it don't ask you. You can make the script to prompt you. It's called interactive method. Okay. You can store your password in the external notepad, or you can store it in an Excel file. There are different ways you can handle your credentials. All right. I'll go to next example.
Sagar, Hemant
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Sagar, can the script handle if there is a failure, like I am changing the VLAN IP of an L2 switch. At that time, if I'm changing the IP of the VLAN, at that time also I can get fail. If I'm changing the default gateway, at that time also I'm means my login credential will not work. They will work with some with the new IP and the new default gateway. So can the script handle the things?
Yeah. In that case, as I told you, it will record the failed device here on a non.
No, but it is not failure. We know that if we are going to the IP through which we are logging to the device, that we are going to change. At that time, it will fail. Whenever you will
That
change
you
the
know, you as a engineer know. How script will know? You have to
that
update. You have to
yeah,
update your inventory file, no?
yeah.
So then only it will work. Otherwise, how you think the script will work? Because it's very
No, my
straightforward.
my my task is to change the IP address of that particular management VLAN. Then how we are going to achieve it? Because I know whether whenever I will change the IP address, I will lose the login.
So you have to tell the Excel file what has been changed to what.
But how it could be possible you change the management IP of the devices?
Yeah. Then how can
It's
we
not.
handle it?
So it's
It's
very
not.
easy. So
I mean, you can
once you
add new
no
IPs in the
you
sheet.
you can update the Excel sheet as Sagar said. Otherwise, you need to write a script to re-establish the session with the SSH connection and with the new IP.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
multiple
yeah,
way you can do it.
yeah.
But
Actually,
I think.
my
But
question
I
was the
think
same. I want to change the management IP, that I have to write the script for the thing. Then whenever I will change the IP, will it be possible to again access the device through the thing,
Yeah,
or
yeah. Once you change the IP, you can write to establish a new connection. But in production, nobody will do this one, right? Because you lose the connectivity, right? So you are in a
yeah,
remote site, and you
yeah,
will not change the management IP through the what you call the script. So that's I would not advise that one. Even the production don't think that way. Even someone ask like a manager change the IP through the what you call the script. but advise him it's not recommended. You have to be like a inside or something. Somebody you need to arrange the what you call support, or it's like a multiple things involved here. But through script it's possible, right? So you need to change the IP by script. Then once you change this IP, then you can write a script for to re-establish with the new IP SSH connection. Then you can able to run another script or anything.
But when you are changing the IP at that, until and unless you don't change the default gateway, you will not get the login through the new IP.
Yeah, this is all logic, right? So you need to write a logic like how you want to do it. So you want to change the switch IP, then second you need to change the gateway, then third one would be re-establish the management IP of the new with the new IP. So how you are thinking, you have to write the script. It's nothing wrong you are thinking, but it's all achievable.
Means you are saying that we can achieve this through a script, or we can't achieve this through a script?
Multiple way you can do it. Like Sagar said, you can once you change the IP, you can edit your Excel, then re-establish that one. Otherwise, you can even write a script. Once you change the management IP, then you can re-establish the SS connection.
Then the question will be, can we automate the things?
Why cannot automate it?
Yes, Sagar.
See, when you are having old IP,
Yeah.
which you have mentioned in your inventory Excel,
Yeah.
so in the same Excel, you have to also mention what will be your new IP.
Yes.
Okay, if it is a static,
Yes.
then you will do it automated way. If in case you're doing a DHCP method, then your script should be in a position to do the rescanning via the SNMP or via the ping to see what are the new IPs that the device, all the devices are taken up. So for that, you have to add another logic to scan via IP scanner, basically we call. You can, let's say your range is something in this 24x/28. So you will scan through this network and then reinitiate SSH to all. So there is again a question mark, what is exact your requirement? Are you going to do a static management? Then simply add another IP in the Excel and take the new SSH to that. If your ask is that you itself don't know what the new IP can be possible in this short bracket, then in that case you scan it, get what are the IPs that the device have taken now, and then trigger the SSH on them.
No, my question is that when we are giving the default gateway command, at that time we will lose the access. Then can we ensure to for the post lock that we have changed the IP address of the management? Uh, can my script do the thing that after losing the access, it can go and check the thing that yes, VLAN 1 has changed the IP addresses and the default gateway also.
No, but if you lose the connectivity to the device, how you think your script will still connected to that?
With the new IP address, my
So,
script should be able
so you have to
to.
update that IP in the inventory.
Okay.
You have to update the IP in the inventory so that the
Hmm.
first connection happened with the first IP, which is old
Right.
IP.
Yeah.
You did some changes. Now you're
Yes.
telling the device to check the same device with the another IP, let's say 75.
Yes.
Now the device will get connected to 75, and whatever you want to do, you want to check, you can update in your CSV or inventory file.
Okay.
Because at this point, you will be losing the connection to the previous IP, right?
Yes.
Then you're not connected to the device. You have to reconnect with the fresh IP that you give it in the Excel file.
Fine.
Okay. That you have to mention the logic. See, writing the script is not like a bot that you put something and it will do it, considering it will do, like you have to make logics here. The script will be prepared in a logic. If this happens, if I lose my connectivity, then I want my script to re-establish new SSH with new IP for the same device. Then I will write a logic for that. So here in this case, since we have the inventory file, considering this is your old IP, you did some gateway changes, and then you are expected to know that this is where you lost the connectivity. Second connection you re-establish on the same device with the new IP. So you have to prepare that two rows for yourself.
Okay, fine, Sagar.
Okay.
Also, guys, just to add a point, see, if it is Juniper, then we have to give a command called commit for the changes to take effect, right? But I don't think it's possible in Cisco, because if you change the management IP, we lose the connection. If we change the default gateway first, we lose the connection. So there are some things that automation cannot do, and management IP in Cisco is one of them.
And the one thing is recommended on the live networks. You are not changing the management IP again and again on your live devices, like core
Exactly.
devices.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not recommended in the
Yeah,
real.
that's what I am also saying the same, right? So
Yeah,
it is not. So don't think that way. You will try
no,
to
no.
implement the same.
I have I have implemented in the live environment, and we were doing for the Cisco devices itself. But it was our task that for this particular region, the management IP has been changed. So you have to change for all the devices. So we were given task that this is the subnet, and you have to assign it for this 10 switches. Then we were going on each device. We were giving our second the VLAN one secondary IP, the new
Okay,
management IP. Then we were changing the
got it,
default gateway.
got it.
After that, we were login through the, but it was a manual process. That process, if we can do after changing the default gateway, we were losing the connection. Then we were again logging in the device with the new IP address, and then we were changing it to the primary. In this way, we were working.
If
Yeah.
I was in your seat, then I would suggest adding a new VLAN for the management, then creating a new VLAN, then put the management and everything. So then I will log in through that one, and I will remove the old one. So that would be like a
Yeah,
uh,
that there is one more challenge, because it was an VLAN one, VLAN
uh,
101 was there, and that was their what you can say standard. So VLAN 101 will be for management. You cannot change it for any purpose.
Yeah,
That was the
Sagar,
challenge.
Sagar, I have one question regarding the implementation. So once we, let's say we have prepared a script, and actually our network is a customer network which is behind a Citrix. So we have to open the Citrix and then we can log in to the devices where we cannot install any tool like Python, PyCharm or anything like that. We have a super putty there. So is it feasible that we prepare a script somewhere else and then copy it and then run it in the super putty? Is it doable?
Yeah, there is one option. That option you will find here in Netmiko. That's called as redispatch. So using redispatch, what happens is, let's say if I'm writing my script on my let's say a home laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So the script will be over here. All the library deployment happens in my home lab, and I will be first connecting to that Citrix box. That will be my first connection. But make sure that Citrix should be open for SSH port number TCP/22. If that is doable, then my script will do the first connection, and from there it will do the second connection to the networking devices. And nothing to be downloaded or installed here. Okay,
Okay.
nothing needed here. All the things remain on the first device itself. Your Python script, your IDE, your libraries, all that remains on your first machine itself. The only condition is that you should have that TCP/22 enabled on the Citrix. If it is a Windows box, then also you can enable TCP/22. If it's a Linux machine, then also you have some service to enable that SSD package. So with that help, you can achieve this. We have this case in our lab as well. So there I will be to show this redispatch. What I would be doing is one of let's say Linux box. If I add here, first I'll make the connection to the Linux box, And considering that is a terminal box or a jump host, then I will be initiating the second connection to any number of devices. So all my deployment will be done in that home machine only, not in this box.
Okay. Okay. We just need the access to the jump server, the SSH connectivity, right?
SSH connectivity should be needed.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
All right, I'll just go with let's say I have example 4. So example 4 I have prepared for okay, again it's very similar. I mean I can just go through it because today we took some extra time. This is for regular expression. I think I'll go it in the actual class. And the fifth example was for yeah, this is for some uh, condition. So if in case your Cisco comes up, then do the Cisco related task. If the Palo comes, then do the Palo related task, and 40, then do 40 gate, then F5, then do F5. So some example for the conditions. I'll show you something different as well today, that is related to front end. Do you know this all things that we discussed so far? It's a backend process. I mean, it's a backend programming language, Python. Your if let's say you are a senior and your management asked to develop some solution for the juniors, because these junior folks may not be well versed with Python or scripting. If you ask them to change username and password, they do that, but they forget to add the indentation or the comma or inverted comma. Then definitely your script will go in a bad shape, and during the maintenance or during the execution time the script is not running, or if you even ask them to do certain basic changes, they might find it difficult. So your script is here, but there is a way. Yeah, go ahead.
Front end mean you're talking about in a sense of GUI?
Exactly, yeah. So
Okay.
you as a engineer, you have to give them some graphical interface. So there are a lot of programming languages that's available if you are from the web side, HTML, PHP, Flask, Django, uh, HTML. Yeah, I told already HTML. So there are a lot of programming tools. I'm showing you some example. One example is called Thinkter. It's a library package. And the second one I'll show you from the Flask perspective. This package you have to deploy and bring it up, but it's more useful because this opens directly in the browser. So any standard browser. So you will get the concept of device compatibility. The resolutions can be changed from a small screen to a bigger screen, whereas Thinkter will be on their own platform. So there might be having little buffer buffer memory scarcity, so that you might feel little slowness, lagginess when dealing with multiple things. Flask, since it's on a standard browser like Firefox, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, you can deal it in very better way. I'll give you both the example. Later in the class, we will talk about how that is being done. So right now you can see this is a Flask example. Let me see where is okay. This is example. Yeah, this is for the Thinkter. So in the Thinkter, I have called the library. I have defined few functionality. So this is all about the platform. How much width of that username? How much width of username? This is the dictionary format where you define the IP address. Then we have try and exceptional block, what you need to be shown in that application. So everything you have coded here, the labels, the width, space, what happens if you fill this, what happens when you click on submit, everything is written in this block, the entire program, the entire application basically. And you can also save those backup in certain files as well. So when you run this, you will get one application popped up. See, something like this. Okay, this whole thing is designed in that program. Like what is the label you want? What is the width size? If you change that, the width will increase. If you change the label will increase. So right now I've kept this application very simple. you can see the things with you. It's not very device compatible. You don't see the columns or the labels also getting resolved as per my screen width or the size that I'm trying to drag it. So it's a very basic thing, but it will do the job that you are expecting from this. You will put your device information. Let's say it was 128. I will mention my credential and I will say that I want to fetch it for show IP int brief. And I'll click on connect. Now it will make a call to my backend Python programming. My Netmiko library will initiate and give me the required output. So let's say I wanted to have second command now. Let's say show version. Then I'll click on connect. It will give me the output for both. If in case I want to take the backup, you see I have to increase the width of it, or let me make it a maximum screen size. And there will be option to save the output. Let's say, so I can click on save output, it will go and so these are all defined by me, and that's how this comes up. Not very user friendly, because let's say if I have multiple devices, which I have also kept in terms of drop down, because see, not every time you are comfortable adding the IP, no, you don't remember them. So you can make your own inventory file also, something like this, like how I made here. Let's say I have 128.128 as my first device. So you can have your own set of inventory prepared here, like this. Once stop and rerun the program. Now this application will show you all the inventory under this. See. So let's say you wanted to contact your R01, it already fetched from that file. If you don't remember the command, not a worry. You can also have it coded in the program itself. You can run that show run. It will generate the output and it will be savable. A very, very basic thing. You can do it, give it to your interns or the monitoring team. Ask them to only deal with these things. Don't let them access the device and put certain commands, and for any reason the device goes into reload. The device, they don't find the IP, they don't know the credential. You can do all this basic things and keep it ready, so your NOC team can handle it in much better way, the first few things. Okay, so this is one example that is using Thinkter. Second example is, I will not recommend the Thinkter program because of the internal buffer memory, not non very user friendly or device compatible. Whereas there is one more program which is with the help of Flask. Once again, we are making use of our SSH backend program with Netmiko. The front end is achieved with Flask. I have written the program to fetch my push config file. Push config is nothing but my device inventory. So if I go here, push config, let me see where is it kept. Okay, it will be not there because it is in the relative path. So you can find the push config here. Yeah. So this is where my inventory is. If in case I want to also keep the drop down facility for the different number of devices, then I can keep that as well. I can make them to also enter the things, so that anything out of the box if comes, they also have the solution for that, because I don't want to restrict them to only my set thing. What if they want to do some show commands on R010, R012? So you don't want them to only be fixed on these few. If that is the purpose, you keep only those 4 to 10 devices, so they do only in these devices. Might be your customer, you're giving access to your customer only for 10 devices. So you will only keep those 10 devices here. Let them do whatsoever they want to do in this. Or you're knocked in, you're giving only some BGP core devices, some 10 devices, and not to any switches or distribution layer devices. So you can mention what they need only and remove the option where they can fill something of their own. So that is what I have defined in this. Then I'll go with the run program. sorry, I have run the previous program. Let me run this Flask. Flask will open in the dashboard. Okay, now you see the Flask local host got started. The engine for Flask program got initiated. So that has happened. It has given me a URL that go to this URL and navigate. So I'll open a browser. As I told, it's a browser based. And this is the okay. I think there was some issue in that. Okay, let me just restart one more time. Might be something has broken. Index.html. No, something has broken. Might be when I was moving the VM, it has deleted few things. Otherwise, here we get a dashboard which is resizable as we scroll upon. So the things will get dragged and shifting to the screen resolution, as well as since it's the browser, we don't have to worry for internal memory. The options depends on what options you have set on this. So if you want to have the labels and all those things, you can keep it very similar to the previous option. You can have some drop down like you prepared here. You can have this command, few pre-populating command, that this commands you want to have it. And whenever you click on the submit button, it will contact this program behind the scene, do the SSH connectivity to the device, fetch you the output on the same output here on the browser, and you can save it or you can do the thing. So this remain the same that we saw, but it depends on the application. The previous one was Thinker application where you don't have much control, whereas the second option is Flask option, which opens in the browser, and you have a better way to handle the things on the things. But at the end, what they are supposed to do, that remains the same, no matter you do it on Flask or you do it on Thinker. If your purpose is to fetch something, both will give you the same thing. You can save at both the side. You want to do configuration, you can also develop that logic there. It will do the same thing. Okay, it only matters is one is opening in the Thinker like application panel. The second one is opening in the browser directly, so that you have better way to the user friendliness that we call that changes. Okay, so this I will fix. Might be there was some VM deployment happened, so it is saying that some file is not present. Okay, because might be the file was got deleted or something. I have to fix that once I get the time. All right, so this is what I had to show. From the demonstration perspective, we have covered the traditional activities and how we cover up using the automation. You guys know what are the modules that we are covering. The things that I was showcasing comes under this modules, okay, from the module 9 onwards. And the things that is also added up but not added up in the blueprint, like we have examples for AWX, we have for tower, and we have examples for pyATS, one of the Python uh, framework for the regression testing. So these are few additional things which has been also added up. And to those people who do not know what DevNet is, so it's a very parallel track as you have for your regular tracks like CCNA, CCNP, and CCI for all that routing, switching, security, data center, SP. Now there is a track for DevNet. So developer network engineer. Okay. So dev stands for developer, NET stands for network engineer. So this is a program, but again, this is a very basic program. You will have a lot of theoretical concept from the software development and other things. And from the labs here, you will have some labs related to Git. All the API comes actually from this curriculum, and some tools demonstrations and all those things. Okay, but I can say most of the things here are theoretical, because even the exam paper is based on MCQ type. So you are given some questions with answer, you tick it up. There is no lab simulations that happens, at least in the CCNA level. So this is a CCNA track, and you don't expect any labs here. It's a theoretical approach here. And for our production scenario, I'll be taking up focused on Python, Ansible, uh, and the REST API, so that you will see in your production. All right, so that is my side of presentation from technical. We have 5 minutes. If you have any question, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'll pass it on to the counselor, Sajid. He will talk from pricing and seat booking and all the other management stuff. And when the class is starting, you can expect all that answers from him. So you have any technical question,
Yeah,
you can
yes,
let me
sir.
know.
Sagar,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
can you
so I have two questions.
what we are going to cover in Ansible actually? Is that like how much?
I have already showed in the beginning as well. So we will have Ansible playbook creation, Ansible AWX, Ansible handlers, loops, Galaxy. So almost that is there in Ansible, even to build the custom Python module inside Ansible. So from very basic to advanced level of Ansible is touched that you see in the predictions.
Okay.
What exactly you are expecting from Ansible, so I can check if I'm covering that part.
So actually, I'm expecting so majority part to you're covering from Ansible actually. That's what I'm expected. But looks like it is the Python predominantly the course actually.
No, that is
So
not the case. You tell me the Ansible topic that which you are looking, so I can tell if it is there in our syllabus or not.
so
I
basically,
mean, any topic that you think in Ansible which you are looking from learning. So if you tell, I can tell if it is there in our syllabus or not.
so whatever topics actually the use cases we are showed there.
Mm-hmm.
So the use cases are same actually. There is no much difference. Only thing is, so I am expected all this from the Ansible actually, not
Yeah,
from.
that use cases we are having in the Ansible as well, like creation, fetching. When I'm showing the custom Python module, which is the advanced topic itself. Custom Python module that you build on Ansible. Then topics like handlers, topics like loops in Ansible, conditions in Ansible, tags. Uh, then you have Vault, you have ad hocs. So Ansible itself is a very small programming compared to Python. So that is why the topics here are also less, and we have to still focus on all the basic to advanced topic and the Ansible.
Are you showing us actually how to build the Ansible tower and do something or like
Correct, correct. Yeah, that is this AWS thing. AWS is the free licensed one, and Tower is the licensed one. Okay, and also there is in this lab itself, we also have an integration from AWX Tower to the GitHub. If your playbook is hosted in the GitHub, then how you run the uh, what you say jobs from the AWX or Tower. So those who guys don't know, this is a graphical front end that Ansible already has it. We need to deploy it and use it. Otherwise, most of the people only show you the playbook, because by default the playbooks comes up. No one will show you the tower part or AWS, but we are also covering that in the session.
so is that
Okay.
is that something we can able to install in our lab also
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, exactly. This just need the Ubuntu or CentOS, which is free. I also have a way to do it on the Red Hat, but it's a license based and you get only for 30 days free. So we will go with CentOS or Ubuntu so that it's doable in our home lab, and also it remains a lifetime with us. Okay,
Okay,
so if
so one question that how many use cases we can cover in this course?
if to be honest, there are 100 use case, because each and everything we do in the lab is a use case. If I say that I have to add 4 attempt, that's also a use case. If I say I have to remove the credential from my script and put it live or put it, that is also a use case. So I
Mhm.
can say altogether 100 plus it will go.
So can we say that as we learn Python first and then Ansible, so I see that both of the things sometimes do the same output, right?
Hmm.
So we will be doing like similar thing with the Python, and then after that we will be repeating
No, no,
with
we will
Ansible
be
also.
not repeating the same thing. We will be
Mhm.
doing the next level of things that Ansible does. So let's say in the Python, we have done all fetch and fetch config report, etc., from Python thing. So from Ansible thing, we will try to see from the from the playbook concept, like how to run the job, configure the job, how you build the custom Python module, how you introduce the conditions, how you. So, I mean, the aspect will change little bit in Ansible. It's not that what I do exactly in Python, I will have to do in Ansible. If that is the case, you also think why tools are needed then. So
Yeah, yeah,
you
correct.
will learn in Ansible from the Ansible point of view. Why Ansible is used in production? It's a config management tool. So we will see from configuration side, whereas Python is for more like audit, regex, and all other things. So we will see that aspect from Python. Similar way, when API comes, we will see from the API point, like in which case the API solution is used.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so that is why the use case are different in this. The same thing we are not checking in all the rest of. Yeah, few things will repeat, like configure, fetch, and all is a very common task. So we have to see in all the three how it does. But in addition to that, what exactly the difference out of Ansible from the other two, and how API is different from the other two. That also we will be have to check that.
Okay, and is there any limitation on the or requirement from the laptop side which we need, or
No,
just
no,
we need to
no,
log into the cloud and yeah, and then
not
it's
much. You can have this done at least in 16 GB of RAM, because as I told you, the end device we kept is something which is possible in 16 GB. And as I told you, if you are looking for SD-WAN, ACI or DNAC, then you can't do in the home lab. For that, I'll be showing you the sand box, which is freely available. If you need our lab, then we have it in a different packages as a rental or as a course. The other packages are there for
okay, okay. So
SD-WAN
so
and AC.
basically this lab which you are showing multiple devices, multiple hardware,
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
we have to build in our own laptop, correct?
uh, we will give you the file. You don't have to
Uh-huh.
build anything yourself. We have a backend technical team. They will take access of your laptop over on Zoom or Ultra Vivo, and they will give you the ready-made file, which is of 30 to 40 GB with all the
Mm-hmm.
images. And they will also assist you to deploy in the VM workstation, and they will bring up few device to show you that it's working. So only your laptop requirement, make sure it is 16 GB RAM with let's say 4 to 6 core CPU, and
Okay, okay,
some
got it.
50
And at the
GB.
yeah, so at the initial at the start of the class itself, you mentioned that we will be getting some access of for something for six
Yeah,
months. What was that?
yes, that is remote access lab. That is what I said. For that, all thing you have to wait for the management person to come and
Okay,
explain.
okay,
You will
okay,
understand the things. So you will get 6 months of remote lab access to those people who don't have a sufficient resources. You will get our remote lab. That is something browser based. So you
okay.
will get access to, like I was showing, I think I showed you some time back.
Yeah, yeah, you showed it already. Yeah. Okay. So
Yes,
I think
correct.
that is a part of some, maybe the costing will
Exactly. Yeah. So you
understand that.
will
Yeah.
get this kind of dashboard where you have to enter your credential that is provided, and then you get access to this interface.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
And how about macOS? Would it be possible to do the lab on the macOS?
Yeah, Mac OS is also possible. You need to have VM Fusion for that. I'm not sure if VMware has made this free or etc. Because at least in the Windows there is something called VM Player which is free. So we can upload our file to VM Player and get it running. But in the Mac, the Fusion comes paid version. So if you can take care of this, then our file is compatible with this as well. So
Got you,
there are
sir.
a lot of users who are using our file on the MacBook,
Okay,
and
sir.
it works smooth. Okay.
And Sagar, do you have any use case like in Ansible to cover up the uh, firewall openings with the heterogeneous firewalls, basically maybe
Like
Fortinet.
you mean to say config management, like security policy, etc.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So we will be covering that under the Ansible Galaxy use case. Okay.
No,
So
okay.
I'll be. Which firewall are you specifically looking?
NGX, Fortinet, and Checkpoint together.
Okay. Here I have Palo Alto and FortiGate, so I'll be covering from that. And if anyone has any F5 license or if I'm running any F5 batch, then I can also cover for F5, F5 LTM that needs license. Sometimes I have some parallel batches for F5, so I am able to show. Otherwise, I'll show for PA and FortiGate. The same thing you have to recreate for any other firewall because this comes from the vendor itself. Okay, so their vendors are contributing the packages. I'll show you that.
Sagar, for that Palo Alto and firewall related stuff, we should have a prerequisite knowledge of that Palo Alto, or we can learn that.
Not needed. See, I always say that way. In this batch, there might be network engineers from very different target devices. Some might be from Cisco, some might be looking for Palo, some might be looking for ASA. So I cover more focused from Cisco, considering that it will be something replicable in the different vendors. And again, for different people, like someone who is still not able to get how the Cisco thinks we can manage on Palo by few changes, then I also have some case or the script where I show for that device as well. So other people may not be showing interest at that point. Same with let's say if I'm taking FortiGate, but the person is not much into FortiGate. But again, it's a learning, it's a common batch, different people, different thing. So either he wants to learn and be little prepared, he can go through some document and see how it works. Otherwise, in the class, I will be showing you the graphical interface. I'll show that this is the interface panel, this is the security interface panel, etc. And you can correlate if you have any time worked in any previous organization or project with any firewall technology. So we are not going into the device or into the technology. We will only be doing all the scripting point of view. From the scripting, we will see how we upload the security policy, but we will not see how FortiGate works, how interface are configured, or how the security policy looks inside the FortiGate, because that would be more like networking side. This is a automation batch. So from the automation, we will be seeing how we can use the Cisco script for Palo by doing some 5 to 10% of minor tweaking. How a Palo Alto script I can use it for Cisco by changing few aspect there. So that is what we will be checking from the automation side. Okay. So any other question? Yeah, that's right. The VM Fusion also is free these days. So if you have the VM Fusion available on your MacBook, then we can easily deploy our ready-made file and you can spin it up on your machine.
Got you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Sagar,
Yeah.
one question I want to know about that if in any case like we are using Fortinet firewall, so why we can use the Python for automation because there is FMGs available to push the policies on the entire network Fortinet or
No.
VDOM.
Hmm. See, your question is very similar to the question that we discussed that time. If we have SDN technology, we manage DNAC and APIC, then why still we need automation if this is all front end? The answer is these are front end. If I want to configure a simple bridge domain, simple tenant, simple inventory onboarding, I still have to go with the step of wizards there. I have to go to I first have to know that dashboard first. I have to know where I can onboard the device. I have to know where I can fetch the thing. Simple as even F5. Let's say I have to create a whip. And this is a daily task. I have to go open the dashboard. I have to first create the pool. I have to create the I have to create the nodes. I have to create the pool. I have to create the whip. And you know the number of steps on that graphical wizard. But the same thing, if I do it from the automation, I can cut down my time, right? I will just prepare one template and I'll push it on the dashboard. So even though it is dashboard, you still need to know the dashboard, and you also need to follow 10 steps to configure that same thing over and over. The next day you get another requirement for 10 whips. You have to go through the wizard. You get to do the image copy from your DNAC to the devices. You still have to go the respective tabs, clicks, enter the name. This is this, this is this, this is this. So all that we can do it in a automated way with the help of automation tool. Okay. So that is the purpose. Your
Got it.
automation will be at this. You will inform the controller. The controller will later push it to the end devices.
Okay, got it.
Okay, guys, then I think I am done. I still see there are a lot of participants. That means the conversation and the presentation was good, which kept you till the last minute. So now I'll hand over to Sajid. Sajid will take over, and I'll just drop because I have another batch to wind up today.
Thank you,
Uh,
Sagar.
yeah, thank you, everyone. Sajid, are you in the call?
Yeah, I'm here. I will take it from you.
Okay, I'll make you host and I'll drop because I have another training to start now. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Myself, Sajid. I'm the student relationship manager and the counselor. So, can anyone confirm? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, you're
Yes,
here.
Sajjas.
Okay. So this is related to the management thing, what all access and materials and about the pricing and all. So if anyone is enrolled and they are having some commitments or anything, it may be they can drop off. So this will be for the new joinees who will be going.
I have that access. I got the access.
So if you want, you can drop out.
Yes,
Okay.
thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Let
Sajid.
me start with my first slide. So here, as you can see, so all the course syllabus and class schedule is mentioned. So this will be going to be a Python network automation course. Okay, so here overall, what all we'll be going to cover is like Python, Ansible, API, and then pyATS, then Devnet, then SD-WAN automation, then firewall automation on Palo Alto, FortiGate, FILTM. So as our trainer Sagar sir said, so if you are working on any dedicated vendors, so on that basis he can guide you and he can show you, or else if it's doable he can do in the classes. So the referral thing he can do, and he can take in the class and he can complete it. So this will be like you can say multi-vendor training for the automation perspective for the particularly network engineer candidates. Okay. And regarding the class schedule, this will be going to be a weekend batch, Saturday, Sunday, from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. IST.
It's 8:30 or 9 p.m. 9 a.m.
No, 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. IST. 3 months of course duration. For
Okay.
today's session, it was 9 a.m. Okay, and yeah, so the course duration will be for 3 months. So overall, so if in case some let's say for any festivals or any weekends or any like challenging holiday comes up, in that case you can just consider 1 or 2 week extra, or else lastly doubt clearing session. So all this covered accordingly. Okay,
So
so
can we get a recording of the of this also? We can miss any class, then we can go through that recording.
yeah, coming on that part. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me move towards the next slide. So here, as you can see, course enrollment and access details. So let me tell you what all access we are going to provide you guys. So firstly, let's say we'll be providing you the lifetime our web portal access. You'll be getting the lifetime recording access of your classes, that you can access it whenever from wherever 24 bar 7. So you can access it from the our LMS. So that will be for lifetime access. Let's say you are practicing for some interview preparation, or recalling the topics what you have done in the class, and you are referring some particular topics, and you want to implement something in your production. So on that case, that recording access will remain with you for lifetime access. Whenever you want, you can access it from our web portal. So there you'll be having your lifetime access user account. Okay, and secondly, you'll be getting the 24 into 7 lab access, okay, for the dedicated time period of 6 months, that you can access it totally remotely 24 into 7 unlimited. Whenever you want, you can access the labs which are present on our servers and cloud servers. Okay, and we'll be providing you the dedicated materials like workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, step-by-step lab manuals, and all your script writing materials. Let's say on the today's class, trainer Sagar sir has taken some topics on the script writing, so that scripts will be also provided to you guys, so you can take that script and you can download, and you can implement in your lab environments, and you can test it out. And simultaneously sometime the like trainer will be taking the labs on the live session itself. So you'll be waiting for like you need to implement the scripts, and what all your results, what all your outcomes, what is your output. So like this he'll be cooperating you so that you can work it properly. So all this goes in one flow. Okay, so I was saying you'll be getting all the material as workbook, PPTs, PDF, lab manuals, script writing material that can be downloadable, and the G Drive access remains with you for lifetime. Whenever you want, you can access the G Drive link from the web portal, and from there, if in case if you missed out any files or something, you can download it once again. Okay, and let's say if you have the good configuration of your system, then we will help you out to set up a home lab, so that once you are done with your remote lab access, further you can practice on your personal laptop. Okay, and that will also remains with you for lifetime access. Whenever you want, you can access the lab that will be you will be having on your laptop, and secondly you'll be having the lifetime access for recording, and you'll be having the workbook access too, so that can be easily accessible. And we will be providing you the 24 into 7 backend support from our NetworkJourney team. Let's say if you are facing any issues, any queries regarding to the course, or regarding to the portal, or regarding to the lab, anything it may be, you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. One of our team member will connect with you, and we will resolve your issues accordingly in meantime. Okay, and yeah, so let's say if you are facing issues while practicing the lab, you are not able to move ahead for the next step. On that case, you just need to raise a ticket, and our one of our team member will just check, and he will redirect the your query to the right person who can look into your issue, and the revert back mail you will be getting as with the solution. It may be related to your labs, or it may be related to course, or it may be related to your portal access. It may be related to your production thing. If you have any doubts, need to be cleared with the trainer. So you can just drop a email on our support DM. So we will reach you out on the dedicated enquiry, I can say. Okay. So we will help you out on that way too. Yeah. So next